Thank you for joining us. I'm ABC 24 anchor Pepper Baker. We are continuing our coverage of the Tony Carruthers execution case. We have found out in the last few hours that Tony Carruthers' execution was in fact botched and therefore now has a 1-year reprieve that was declared by Governor Bill Lee. Now we're going to bring in Brittany Brown. She's an MLK50 reporter who was part of the press crew who was able to witness the execution process. Brittany, thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you for inviting me to the interview.
Definitely. So we know this happened in Nashville, of course. In one word right now, would you describe your feeling? What are you feeling after witnessing something like that?
Well, I can't really provide a one-word response because reporters really didn't witness the attempt to get these lines into Carruthers' body. The entire time we were sitting in a dark room. The curtains were closed the entire time. So I can't really respond to that question specifically. Yeah, with that more context of that, we just didn't really see anything. We could hear what was going on, but we couldn't see anything.
Okay, well, that's great to know. So I guess my next question, of course, is just the step-by-step. Take us through exactly from start to finish what you did hear and the moment of all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just take you through the day. I think it'll really just show the scope of time because the execution was set to happen at 10 a.m. But, to turn around, it's afternoon, literally. And that's when we learned that the execution was called off. So we arrived to the prison at 8:30. We're checked in. We're taken to a waiting area for several minutes. It's in that waiting area that I learned from a Tennessee Department of Corrections spokesperson that Carruthers did not want his family to witness the execution, and so they were not there, but that one of his attorneys from the ACLU was there. We also learned that Shelby County Sheriff Floyd Bonner was supposed to be there to witness the execution. We were told he would be brought to the same space where media witnesses were, but we never saw him, so I can't confirm whether he was or was not there. But a TDOC spokesperson said that he was able to be there under the guise according to state law, the county where the person was convicted, the sheriff can be there to witness. Mm-hmm. We also learned that Carruthers refused to choose an execution method. He had an option to choose between electrocution or lethal injection. And since he did not choose, TDOC defaults to lethal injection in these instances, is what a spokesperson told me. So at 10 a.m., mind you, we check in at 8:30 a.m. 10 a.m., we're still waiting. And so at 10:09, we learned from a spokesperson that there's some movement going on in the courts. That's quote what she said. There's some movement in the courts. And so we're waiting a bit more. And then at 10:23, we're told essentially to be ready to move, that, we were going to be relocating to the chambers to witness. And so not too long after that, at 10:29, we moved to the media witness chambers. And so it's a small room, maybe a 10 by 7 space, not a very big space at all, where 6 media witnesses, it was 3 reporters from Memphis and 3 reporters from Nashville. The 3 Memphis reporters were seated on the first row, the 3 Nashville reporters were on the second row, and on the final row were TDOC staff, corrections officers and spokespeople. And so we were in that room. At first the lights were on, and then soon after we got into the room, the lights were turned off, and it was a bit jarring because we had been in rooms where the fluorescent lighting was very bright and there was no warning that the lights would be going off. And so we're left in the dark because the curtain that is on the other side of the window where we would be able to see the execution take place, there was a thick gray curtain over there. So all we could see was a little bit of light shining around the curtain and a little bit of light shining underneath the door that would have opened between the witness chamber and the actual execution chamber itself. Several minutes go by, and there's just silence. We don't hear anything. Of course, we're not seeing anything. And then on the other side of the door, on the other side of the curtains, we start to hear doors open and close several times. And then I hear sounds of Velcro straps, as if something was being strapped, but it sounded large, like it wasn't like a tennis shoe Velcro, like it was a big Velcro strap, you could tell just off of the sound of it. And then we started to see the lights begin to flicker on and off slowly. And then we heard more doors opening and closing. We hear some voices, but I couldn't really make out what they were saying because of where I was seated. And of course, the walls in the waiting room, and I'm assuming the walls in the execution chambers themselves, at least the walls in the waiting room, I can confirm were brick. So it just was not, it was a lot of echoes, not really conducive for being able to hear sound clearly. Mm-hmm. I did begin to hear a woman's voice. She said Mr. Carruthers' first name. She called him by his first name, Tony. And so at this point, I'm assuming that he's in the room. And then not long after that, we hear groaning sounds, like a man is groaning, sounds like he's in pain. Several more minutes go by. We don't really hear much. We hear some faint conversation, but again, it's really hard to hear and to make out what's being said. And then at 11:46, we learned that Carruthers is being sent back to his cell. And so this is several minutes after we were taken to the room. 10:29 is when we were taken to the witness chambers. It wasn't until 11:46, after sitting in a dark room for that entire time, when we learned that Carruthers was being taken back to his cell. One reporter did ask a spokesperson in the room while we were waiting, do we know what the holdup is? But at the time, they didn't know either. And so soon after we learned that Carruthers was being taken back to his cell, we were taken back to a waiting room. The media pool was taken back to a waiting room. And so it was a bit jarring to learn that we had sat in a dark room for almost an hour and a half and just did not know what happened. And then we were escorted out and given a piece of paper by a spokesperson that said that the execution was called off because they were unable to establish a backup line pursuant to the lethal injection execution protocol. And then quickly after that, we learned that the governor called for a reprieve, and then we had a quick interview with Carruthers' attorney from the ACLU.
Wow, that was quite descriptive. Thank you for that. It almost felt like I was right there with you with all of that, the visual you painted here for us. So we are running into time. Unfortunately, I feel like I could sit here and talk to you about this forever. But so the next steps here, anything from the lawyers about what they plan to do moving forward now that he has 1 year?
Well, yeah, when his attorney, Maria DeLiberato, gave us the press conference, she was moved to emotion when she learned during the interview that Governor Bill Lee had announced the reprieve. She said that she couldn't wait to tell his family and that she and others at the ACLU will continue fighting for their clients. So I think that's the next steps on their part, at least it's what they said.
Have you ever seen any executions handled this way, or just the lethal injection not in fact operating correctly?
Yeah. Well, this is my first execution to report on in Tennessee, but I have reported on an execution in Mississippi, where I reported before moving to Tennessee. And this was about 5 years ago now. And during that time, there was a lot of questions asked, first and foremost, about how the state was obtaining lethal injection drugs, whether what was the mixture of cocktail of drugs. There were a lot of questions of whether or not manufacturers wanted their product to be used in such a way. I was also doing regional reporting across Alabama and Louisiana, and there were reports of the state of Louisiana obtaining drugs from veterinarians. The state of Alabama never stopped doing executions during the COVID-19 pandemic when many other states did pause. So it just really kind of depends on where you are. But for the most part, it does not really seem, although on paper there is a standardized procedure, clearly this is not just a plug and play type of operation.
Definitely. Well, Brittany, thank you so much for your time. That was incredible insight in there. And I hate that you all were in the dark for an hour, more than an hour. That is just quite jarring, like you said. But we'll probably keep in touch with you as this case continues. We're going to continue following it. But thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for watching and just keeping in touch with us or following us on ABC 24 for all things about Tony Carruthers' execution case. We will be following closely with it, so be sure to stay tuned to ABC 24 and 24+.